Okay, so Erin's in Ireland. She's on a kibbutz, essentially, which you now know what that is.
I do.
And she's gone. She's ethereal. She's watching. She's right there. But I mean, through the camera. But
Hi, Erin.
Can't touch her. And I thought, the car drives away, and I was there. And I went. I had a little surprise cry in like a bathroom, but like, and then I was like, but I pushed it down. There was the wrong kind of laugh from the back. Thank you. We now live in a world where we know the different kinds of laughs. That was the wrong kind of laugh. I'm not judging you. You're free to stay. But I know you are judging me. And I'm calling you out. Hashtag cancel the back row. So then I suppress it all, and I suppress it with the fabric of, I get to play really, really uninterrupted video games. Like, I don't think that, Erin, the truth is Erin never stopped me, she was never the reason, but there, it was just like, I just mean with impunity, with no guilt, no shame, which is a dangerous thing because I have a lot of shit to do. Like Erin would always be, she was like, it's 5 a.m, and I'd be like, so what? You're not my real mom. But now it's just like, oh shit, I forgot to feed the fish or something. It's like stuff will grow on me if I'm not careful. So, but still, I'm very excited. And I hook up the Shadows of Mordor game.
Yeah.
These kids know what I'm talking about. They like the Shadows of Mordor. And they're going through the tutorial. Every video game now has, action video game has like the parts where, they sometimes they work it into the narrative. Sometimes they just go, hey, here's a tutorial. A lot of them seem hard pressed to work into the narrative. I don't know why you couldn't just say.
What do you mean, the training part?
Yeah, I was like it seems like we're about 15 years in now of all video games being ironic and working it into the narrative. I don't know I think they're putting too much effort on themselves.
I think I don't play a lot of video games. You're talking about in Elder Scrolls when you're in the prison and you in Oblivion and you get broken out. It's kind of like
Elder Scrolls. That's good. That's like a good version of it because you're doing real stuff. But it's like the bad ones are like your friend Winslow comes over and he's like, for old time's sake, why don't you wave the stick around? Press A to wave the stick.
I thought the weird ones are the ones where they're actually telling you. I think the weirdest one so far is New Vegas because your character is waking up from a near-fatal head wound. A doctor has fixed your brain and is doing a checkup on you. And so he wants to make sure your brain works right, so he asks you to associate certain things. And the whole time you're like, well, come on, I know when you ask me that, what you really mean is, do I want to be a demolitions expert? But also it's just weird that you're asking me to form my own brain from a head injury. Like I'm always going to think, whenever I blow myself up later, I'm going to be like, I bet I was supposed to be a sniper, and I bet they shot the judgment part out of my brain. So I'm a monster in this game. Anyways, but they always walk you through. Okay, here's how you crouch. Here's how you run. Here's how you. And one of the big things is stealth attack at the beginning of Shadows of Mordor. You're learning how to stealth attack, but they do a very clever thing because they're also weaving this horrible, tragic thing about this guy who's lost his wife to orcs and goblins and things. He's woken up as a half-dead wraith-like being who's tied to another being's curse to be a spirit of vengeance against these orcs and Mordor. It's such an awesome game, and so you're having flashbacks as your tutorials on how to operate the character. So the way you learn to stealth kill people is like 2 minutes into the game where I'm like, all right, like I cried, I missed my wife, but fucking on the other hand, Shadows of Mordor. And then and I wrote it down because it's sit at the bottom of the screen. You literally have a bouquet of flowers in your hand, and your wife is up ahead, and it teaches you stealth by you hiding so that you can surprise her better. And it says at the bottom of the screen, while in stealth, press X to kiss your wife. and I just started bawling. Like I didn't start bawling out. I fucking nailed her. I gave her the flowers. I'm gonna kick ass at slitting people's throats on this game, but I was giving her a flower, and I was just crying.
That's like the equivalent of the wax on, wax off. Like you learn by giving flowers. Like I remember, and you slit an orc's throat.
You're saying for me or for the character of the game?
For the character.
Well, I think the character of the game learned how to slit throats. They're not teaching you that he's learning how to slit throats using flowers and his wife. That would be the
I
craziest.
guess that would be a leap, yeah.
That would be the craziest like mentor in the world.
Because of his romance training, he's able to be an elite assassin. Yeah, that's crazy.
Or because he's such a lethal assassin, he recognizes that to kill is to love.
This is like a downer, but there's like a Call of Duty game where like you attend a funeral and you can press X you're supposed to press X to pay respects to the fallen, but you can mess up. Like if you don't approach it at the wrong angle, like you could it'll also pop up, press like control pad to vault over the gravestone, which is some bad.
I love those unintentional the things that like all video games have that to the extent that they try to simulate reality, try to simulate a world and individuality. There's always these gaps where it's like it's hilarious, like unavoidably sociopathic. Like the Witcher 3, the thing, like you walk into a guy's hut and you go, hey, I'm here about the thing you put on the board. Oh yes, my Jessica. Oh, they found her bones outside the troll cave, but the blood trail led off the cliff. I keep telling the preacher that her soul won't come back tormented, but he's making me tie this ear to a branch. I'm afraid ghouls will come and try to eat me because they'll be attracted by my daughter's rotting human flesh. So could you come with me and just stave off the ghouls so I can summon my daughter's ghost and just murder her with the arms of her lover to banish her soul for all of eternity. And I'll give you 20 silver pieces, and then just one of your 4 options is like, how about a hand of Gwent? Which is like this card game in the thing, or like it's just like you would just go like, you know checkers?
Oh, you're asking him if he'd rather play Gwent instead, or you're offering him a deck of Gwent?
I'm sorry. My punchline demands a really religious knowledge of Witcher 3. And I apologize for that. I was on a roll halfway through, and I was like, this train is not coming to the station they think it is. And I could have riffed something, but then it would have been like, you would have gone like, why would you play checkers? And I'm really sorry about everything that happened. But all those RPG games, they're always like there's like somebody that's like, they're just talking forever sometimes about like corpses and their ancestors and stuff, and you can always just go like, what have you got for sale? Because they just happen to also be a blacksmith. Could you make me a hammer? I love the idea of a guy that would really be like that. Other people would be like, listen, about that thing earlier. Ching, ching. Here's your hammer. So your wife. Oh, God, thank God. I guess you're just like a strange person, but... I hear, as I said at the top of the conversation, your reputation precedes you. I'm very disturbed because I have Shadows and Mordor is another great, it's like a Batman thing. Hey, what's this, the video game show? I don't know. What did you think it was, Troy?
Is that somebody in the audience you're picturing?
Yeah.
Raise your hand, Troy. And your name might not be Troy,
I hate
the way.
video games, and I love Dan Harmon. So that person deserves actually a lot of attention.
Actually, I think I'm Troy.
Well, you haven't played in a while. But I'm just talking about in general, like you don't have to have any familiarity with video games for this conversation to happen. So, as I've often said, the thing that I love most about these video games is inventory management. I love no matter what the game's like, I demand that it be really good, but with the combat, I gotta kill a dinosaur, but I will always, like 90% of the game, as anybody that's ever come into my home will tell you, like, it's just me. It's just a screen of text, and I'm just like sorting cabinets. So, and then once I do, like, I stop playing. Like, I'm like, these are my fishing rods. These are my magical swords. These are my swords that I'm probably gonna sell because, let's face it, I don't need them, but I also don't need the money at this point because I kind of got to think down through a system. These are my wolf pelts. These are my uncured wolf pelts because the thing is, there's a guy in the other town that if you sell them to him, he'll give you an extra gold piece. If you do that 1,000 times, that's a good way to spend an hour. I'm obsessed. I become obsessed with these things that I'm not obsessed with in real life.